Hi Southern Lights, hi church family. I just wanted to take a moment to share what Zoe and I were up to last week. We spent the week in Sydney at Hillsong Church, and the Ravi Zacharias International Ministries was hosting what they called an Apologetics Symposium. And as many of you will know, Pastor Zoe and I have been studying this year into the second month of a 9-month online course with the Colson Center for Christian Worldview, which is based in America. And we've got our first mentoring session this Saturday with Dr. Bill Brown, who oversees the 230 students who are in the training. But Christian worldview and what we believe as Christians and the way that we see the world, so our worldview, the lens that we view life through, is incredibly important. I don't think anything could be more important once you're saved, is understanding God, creation, sin, the fall, and then what's the purpose and meaning of life and what's going to happen in the end. And this is really the Christian worldview. And the Christian worldview training or dimension really overlaps very closely with apologetics, because apologetics is really about defending the Christian faith. And having an answer for what you believe, as it says in 1 Peter 3:15, always be prepared with an answer. And the Greek word used there is the foundation for the word apologetics. It's where we get the word apologetics from, or apology, and it's a defense of our faith or an explanation of our faith. And apologetics crosses over with the Christian worldview, because that's what you're defending, is our worldview. And the Ravi Zacharias team was phenomenal. We're a bit starstruck to see Ravi Zacharias in the flesh. I've never seen him live before. He's actually only been in Australia 3 or 4 times, and he would be the best known apologist of our age. And it was incredible. But the other awesome thing is he had his whole team here with him. You might have seen the photo I put on Facebook with Zoe and I and Abdu Murray, who's about 6'7", and he's one of the key guys, along with Vince and Joe Vitale, the married couple who travel around the world with him as well. There's a great guy there named Sam Alberry, who's a English minister or priest, and he's written a book called Is God Anti-Gay, and he's a real expert on sexuality. And it was also great meeting some of the Aussie guys who are really into apologetics. So it was a great networking opportunity. Mark Niles, the director of Australian Christian Lobby, was there. We had a good chat with him, and he really loves what we're doing here, especially the Accelerate Discipleship training. And we also met the key guys in Australia who were doing apologetic stuff, a couple of young guys who are around 30, 31, and just fantastic guys. And they were amazed to hear that we have full-time students. This is our second-year students who every day we're working with and training in how to be an influencer, how to do apologetics, defend the faith, and also to influence and persuade people towards the gospel. And this is really what apologetics does. And Os Guinness has called this the grand age of apologetics that we're really in now in our Western society. This is a time in society where we need more than ever before to be able to explain the reason for our faith. And apologetics is a very special arm of evangelism, and evangelism was talked about constantly during the week. But it's really evangelism of the mind and discipleship of the mind. Apologetics helps remove people's intellectual obstacles that block them from coming into a relationship with Jesus Christ. And it's very, very important in this age we live in, because our minds are so scientific, and people want proof, they want evidence to understand why Christianity should be considered the truth above every other truth. And in an age of tolerance, in an age where everything is true and everything is okay, and in a post-truth society where feelings are more important than empirical data or important than rectifiable truth, it's very important that we can actually explain creation. We can explain God as the first cause of creation, not evolution. That we can explain sin and the fall of man and the sin condition of human beings as the problem with the world. It's not society, it's not religion, it's not these things that are the problem with the world. It's the fact that in the heart of all of us, we're fallen and we're sinful, and we have a preset mechanism that points us towards evil. And unless Christ comes into our heart, then we tend to hurt ourselves and one another. Also, the Christian worldview and apologetics covers, well, well, how does Jesus Christ answer these questions of pain, suffering, and sin? And what is going to happen in the end? You know, if he did die and rise again, then how is his resurrection from the dead? How is that true? How is that provable? What's the evidence for that? And then what's going to happen in the end at the consummation of all time and when Christ returns? So it was a really, really powerful time. I just wanted to share a little bit with you because I've been getting lots of questions about what happened. I really encourage you to open your heart up to this side of evangelism. It's very, very important. Our second year students, the last 2 years, we've been really focusing in on this with their training, and they have, if you talk to any of the current students, this has probably been their favourite part of the year, has been the apologetics training. We do Ravi Zacharias' apologetics mini course or program in our second year, and the students go out and influence friends, go out on the streets, they go out and actually put this stuff to practice, and it has been wildly successful in EDT, especially this year, and has really impacted the students in knowing how to articulate not only what they believe, but why they believe it and why it's provable. You have to realize that even the resurrection of Jesus Christ, it's not something we believe by some silly faith. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is is the most provable miracle that's ever happened. The evidence for it is resounding, and the evidence against it being a lie, against Jesus not existing, the evidence against him not rising from the dead is nowhere near as strong or as reasonable as the evidence for him rising from the dead. It's quite phenomenal, and we need to be equipped with this apologetic ability in this season that we live in. People aren't going to come to Christ only through the heart, they're also going to come to Christ through the head, and we need to help people remove things in their mind that are inaccurate, that are wrong, that the media, that the world, that religion has told them, and help them get past those obstacles so that their heart can be fully engaged with their Creator. So just wanted to update you a little bit on that, and just tell you what we were up to last week. It was a great investment of time. Thank you for sending us up there, and I know that this investment is going to reap so much fruit in the future for us as a church. Amen. Bless you guys.